about it, you've taken the legal part of it, you've listened to all sorts of sound bites, and there's a rush towards the microphone. A slow trot. Maybe a little bit of a canter. Does it mean that we're actually all happy with it? No.
Got a question for Liz.
Absolutely.
Just wondering, in Australia, so it's not prescribed what the charities have to report. Have you got any sense of the uptake of charities that are voluntarily using IR, for example?
Yeah. I might just talk a bit about global momentum and then what's happening. So there is a lot of global momentum building around integrated reporting, and we're increasingly seeing integrated reporting and thinking adopted around the world through corporate governance codes as the impetus, where there might be reference or alignment to integrated reporting, so it's seen as a form of best practice reporting. We're also seeing stock exchange adoption or encouragement. Integrated reporting is not something that we want to see regulated. We want people to do integrated reporting because it makes good business sense to do so. But what we do hear from the market is that they are looking for an encouraging regulatory environment that creates the opportunity for integrated reporting to be easily adopted. It is mainstream in South Africa and Japan. We're also seeing it adopted in emerging markets. There's quite a few African countries, for example, who are adopting integrated reporting because they see it as a way of making their markets more competitive on a global scale. So the 1,700 organisations in 70 countries that explicitly refer to integrated reporting, but there are many, many more organisations who follow the principles of integrated reporting. And I actually think that's a really strong indication that we're heading on the right path with this, when you have businesses and entities around the world who are heading in this direction because they realise just producing their financial statements, as we've heard from everyone today, just doesn't give you the whole picture of performance. In New Zealand, you've got entities as diverse as your Treasury, New Zealand Post, Sanford, Z Energy, Meridian, the Warehouse, Port of Tauranga, Zealandia, who we've heard from today, Ryman's Healthcare are another one who are embracing integrated reporting. So as I said, the focus has been a lot more on the corporate take-up, but to me, this is perfectly tailored to the not-for-profits because you've had to be so accountable to your funders anyway. And as we heard the comments about the awful events in Christchurch, there's so much more activism in the market where people are demanding more transparency. So we get pushback where people say, oh, but we'll give away our competitive advantage. Well, there's so much information out there with social media. One comment can go out from a disgruntled employee and there goes your reputation overnight. So I challenge organisations and say it's really up to you to control the story about your organisation. If you put it out with gaps in it, someone else is going to fill the gaps and they could be wrong.
Absolutely, thank you. And you comment that we don't think it should be regulated.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking across Paul to Zealandia, which part of the organisation was the key driver towards it? Was it the governance table, or was it the management team saying we can change, we can do better, we can take a greater, wider, holistic view? Any of those two sides was stronger than the other, or the dominant player in coming up to where you were?
No, I don't think it was actually. I think that it was both, and both in equal measure. We really, really needed to tell a story that simply was not being told. In fact, the contrary story was the predominant story that was being told around town. And as a consequence, the imperative was shared between management and board. Just coming to something that was said about making an approach, a mandatory approach, I think there's a great danger in that, because actually the whole point was we were able to look around at an appropriate approach, the approach that fitted the story we needed to be telling, added value, and still enabled us to not only comply, but comply nevertheless. So I think one of the things about this framework is it's not mandatory, but it is incredibly helpful.
It may be interesting for the audience to know that we at the External Reporting Board have recently put out a position statement on what we call extended external reporting, of which integrated reporting is just one of those frameworks. We certainly in that position statement also do not support that being mandatory. That, you know, it's a voluntary, it's a tell your story. You've heard that phrase many times today. So in New Zealand we support also at this stage non-mandatory.
Brilliant, thank you for that, Octavio. And I think you know, in regard to Paul, it is a journey, and to be able to take both sides, if you like, of the equation together along that journey is the only way, the logical way, in fact, to go. Caroline, welcome.
Welcome. Hello, thank you. I've got a question about the profession, and it's probably directed most specifically at Mel and also Warren. I'm a chartered accountant, like many of us in the audience, and my question is, you know, what's the role of our professional body in firstly helping you to develop your standards, but secondly in helping you to help the regulator to, if you aren't the regulator, to monitor compliance, because Warren talked about, or someone talked about the accounts are not actually that great. It was Braden, wasn't it? The accounts you're looking at are not that great. So how can our profession, sorry lawyers, how can our profession help you develop your standards, and how can it monitor compliance of its own members effectively?
Thank you, Caroline. Great question, as always, from you. I think the professional bodies, the accounting professional bodies, and CAA&Z, one of the key sponsors of this conference, I think has a real challenge. And in my comments, I talked about the woeful sort of lack of financial literacy in New Zealand. It's a major problem. It's interesting that it sits quite squarely in the mandate of the FMA. But I think that should sit with CAA&Z and CPA, the major accounting bodies here. And I think the answer for charities there is not exempting the small ones, but providing the training and the exposure to people that are involved with charities, so that we increase that financial literacy that is available to charities. You know, I was very encouraged this morning, because I wasn't aware of it previously, of you know, Collaborate, I think was the term of the organisation that puts together volunteers. And I think many semi-retired or retired professionals are very happy to help out in charities. But you know, that's where that Collaborate organisation is brilliant, that it connects the need with the supply. And just finally, we have a very strong working relationship with the professional bodies in the standard setting. We see them very strongly as providing the education and assisting with us to make sure that the market is aware of those standards.
So from an Australian context, we also have very good relationships with the professional associations. We need to. Their members are such an important part of the charitable sector in terms of providing expertise and doing the audits, preparing the accounts. So we definitely have very good relationships, and we share information, and that needs to continue. But in terms of, I guess, obligations on members in doing the work that they do to support the charitable sector, I would encourage, and I certainly say this when I talk to members who work in or with charities, that there is an obligation on them to call things out when they need to be called out. They need to work with charities to help them if they identify governance issues or anything of concern. And there's obviously an appropriate escalation process, but quite often some of the really pointy end cases which end up being investigated by our compliance peers, quite often it becomes apparent at that point that there was a professional who was aware of something, who said something, but then didn't follow through, didn't take it further. So I definitely think it's incumbent on those, on all of us as professionals in the sector. When we see something, we need to do something about it, and we need to work with charities to try and help them improve their capacity and their capability. But I definitely also think that the relationships between the professional bodies, the professionals, and also between the regulator are also very important. So we've got to keep that dialogue open.
Terrific. And so true, and it's wonderful to have 180, 190 people along here these 2 days doing some CPD, but actually there are some core fundamentals that we need to be looking at and getting our friends and colleagues who aren't here to be thinking about and challenging as well. It is very close to 2:50. In fact, it's 2:49. So we will call that a wrap up. Thank you so much to the team. Thank you to all of the commentary. Thank you to all of the sound bites. Everyone I know will be taking 4, 5, 6, if not 8 or 10 sound bites from one of the best sessions of the day. So,